In Hebrews 1, it says of Jesus that he is the exact representation of the Father's nature. In other words, Jesus could say, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. It's exactly what he said. He was exactly representing the Father's nature. When he reached into the mud, spit into the blind man's eye, he was illustrating the Father's heart. When he came to the mother that had a dead child and they were having a funeral and he raised the child, he was illustrating the heart of the Father. In every way, the person of Jesus illustrated the heart of the Father. Now, there are many people who believe that the heart of the Father is completely different than that. That's why the Father would will sickness on somebody, would will poverty, would will some kind of torment on somebody. It's just their lot in life so they can become a better person. And yet Jesus is constantly contending with the Father. No, that's a lie. That's the blasphemy. That's the lie. Is that Jesus exactly represented the Father. When he did something, he was illustrating the Father's nature. So this is the point. Anything you get out of Job's life that says God wants you sick comes from an inferior revelation, because Jesus is the superior revelation. What God did in the Old Testament to cause people to realize their need for God and the power of sin is completely different than what he ever intended or wanted to do. It was because man resisted and rejected grace and chose law. And in that decision, the hand was forced to show the brutality of law. And to transfer that as the heart of God for people is absolute disgrace. Can you imagine Jesus coming to a blind guy and he says, I'd really like to see. And he says, man, this is the blindness that my Father gives. And it's just a gift to make you a better person. I'll pray that God helps you to have spiritual insight. I'm so tired of hearing people pray for blind people asking for God to open the eyes of the heart. No, the problem is they got natural eyes that don't see. There's none of that in heaven. It's got to matter to you and me. So what happens? Jesus said, this kind only comes out with prayer and fasting. So what do you do with your life? I have before me the memory of a mother whose child did not get delivered. Brought to my hands because I represent the King. What do? He said it only comes out with prayer and fasting. What do? Time to pray and fast. Time to get before God and earnestly pray before you have a crisis to pray for. You got to hear me on this. It's vital. Anybody can pray in crisis. Show me somebody who will earnestly pray without a crisis, and I'll show you someone who will solve the crisis when it comes.